Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. Today is a special episode because it coincides with my birthday week. As some of you might know, a couple of years ago, I shared my favorite birthday rituals, and this year I'm excited to revisit that with a fresh perspective. As I'm celebrating my own birthday, I want to share with you that birthdays are not just about cake and parties, though those things are fun too. This episode is for anyone who wants to celebrate their birthdays in a meaningful way, one that focuses on growth, gratitude, and joy. Today, we're going to be exploring 10 refreshed birthday rituals that can make that day extra special beyond the usual celebrations. So let's dig in. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, health and fitness coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves. Those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. This past week was my birthday. I'm lucky that once in a while my birthday falls in Labor Day weekend. This year wasn't the case. It was in the middle of the week, but still was a really special one. Over the years, my feelings about birthdays have changed. There was a time when I didn't enjoy them as much, mainly because I didn't like the idea of getting older. I'm sure many of you can relate. But this year feels different. I'm genuinely happy to celebrate my birthday because the past year has been really transformative for me. I've come to realize that getting older is something worth celebrating, especially when you're building memories, growing, evolving, having fun, and taking on new adventures. Instead of letting the years pass by, I've learned to make each year and each day count. I've developed some birthday traditions that are really meaningful to me, and today I want to share them with you. These include some of the things that I personally have done this year and many years past to celebrate my birthday and make it extra special. So let's get started with some of those traditions or rituals that can help celebrate our birthdays beyond just the usual cake and parties, which are fun too, don't get me wrong. I'll start by saying that one of my favorite things about my birthdays is that I get a lot of messages from people that typically I don't interact with, and it opens the door to reconnect with them. That is for sure favorite parts of my birthday. And I'm so grateful for everyone who took a minute this year to wish me a happy birthday and open that door for me to connect with you again or reconnect again. And some of them have ended up being on connecting with people and agreeing to get together for a cup of coffee or for lunch or to see each other and catch up and get up to speed. That piece is one of the things that I love about my birthday. Getting calls from my family, from friends, from colleagues, because it makes me feel that it matters, right? That they care for me in order to spend time and to remember that it was my birthday. Now, I want to share with you 10 different rituals that you can leverage. You can use multiple of them, one of them, you can pick and choose. And I think which ritual you embrace to celebrate your birthday really depends on the moment in time in which you are. Where are you this year in your birthday, whenever your birthday is, and which one fits better with the mood you're in and what's going on in your life. I always end up doing multiple of these, and not necessarily they all happen on my birthday, but sometimes on my birthday week or my birthday month. This year was a little bit tough to put in practice some of these rituals in my actual birthday because, one, it was a Thursday, so I was working. It was a normal day of work. I had just come back from vacation the week before, so I kind of did or practiced some of these rituals the week before my birthday, and then this birthday weekend, and kind of split it up throughout the month, which is totally okay. It doesn't have to be, again, on your birthday, on your actual birthday. But here are some of those rituals. The first one is to take me day. I'm making air quotes. Take a me day. What does this mean? The best gift that you can give yourself is time. Time is the one resource that is not renewable. And taking the day off, shutting down the emails, and focusing on you, that can be the best way to celebrate your birthday. And it's important as you do that to ask yourself, what makes me happy? What brings me joy? Always, and if you know me, you know this, on my phone, I have a note. I started a note some years ago. I call it my joy list. And it's a list of all the activities that I love, all the things that I love. They are some simple things like enjoying a cup of coffee, bigger things like taking a family vacation, right? But it's a list of things that brings me joy, that makes me feel happy, things that I love. And what a me day is about is basically doing as many things in that list as you can pack in that day. So having a date with yourself where you are basically doing things that brings you and indulge in as many of those things as you can, whether it's a quiet walk, a spa day, a spontaneous day trip. Just make your happiness the priority on your birthday. And maybe your birthday is months away from when you're listening to this podcast. Maybe it is coming up soon. One thing you can start doing is a joy list on your phone. And it's that simple. I mean, I have an iPhone. I don't know how it works in Android. I'm guessing you have an app as well on Android for like note taking. But I just start a note that I title Joy List and start writing down things that bring you joy. And as you go through the day, if there's something that really brings you joy and it hits you that, okay, this is something that every time I do it brings me joy, put it on the list and start building your own joy list. And then when your birthday comes, try to schedule as many of those things in a me day, which basically is a date with yourself for yourself. Okay, the next birthday ritual is a birthday reflection. I believe our birthdays mark a fresh start. You know, we all celebrate January 1st as the new year. And when the new year comes, a lot of us take time to reflect on the year that has passed and start to dream about the year that is coming up. And we set goals and we dream and we set intentions, all of those things. Our birthday is like our personal, unique New Year celebration. So treat it as such, right? It's a time of the year that marks a fresh start. So reflect on the year that you've just lived. What have you learned? How have you grown? What do you want to change maybe going forward? And spend some time just journaling on that. And for an added twist this year, consider adding a gratitude list to the reflection. Like celebrate all the small wins that made this year past unique. And I want to expand a little bit on this birthday reflection because actually I created a guide that you can actually download. I'm going to put the link on the show notes of this podcast episode, but it's like a birthday ritual journal, if you will, and it walks you through step by step how to go through this birthday reflection. But some of the things that you will find in this guide, I'm not going to cover it all, You can download, you can access and get a copy of the guide. But some of the things that I personally like to reflect on my birthday include, first of all, what were the highlights and the lowlights over the past year? And this really helps me reflect both on those highlights, on those things that brought me joy, that really stood up during the year, and also the challenges that I faced. Also, I also reflect on what are the things that I'm grateful for. Gratitude is something that I include in every reflection that I do. It's something that it's super important to me because it has been life-changing. So always include, whether it's in the New Year reflection, in my quarterly review, in my birthday reflection, what is that I'm grateful for? Another thing that I ask and reflect on is what I have learned about myself in the past year. I like to reflect on how I've grown and what I've learned. What are those lessons learned, those life lessons? But most importantly, what I have learned about myself. I also like to think and reflect on what made me feel most alive the past year. And some of the things that come out of this question end up in that joy list that I talked to you about a minute ago. Also talked about how did I challenge myself to be better in the past year. For me, personal growth is super important, and I like to reflect on how did I approach that in the past year. What are some of the people who inspire me the most in the last year? What was the best advice that I received in the past year? What has changed in the last 12 months, right? Those are some of the questions that I ask myself. And then I also try to think about what are some new birthday traditions or rituals that I want to adopt, that I want to add to this inventory of rituals that I've been creating over the years. And then I try to be intentional about the next year, right? And think about, like, if it was New Year, I try to think about what will make this next year count. From now until my next birthday, how I'm going to make the next 365 days count. What is that I want to be more intentional about? I also update my joy list, and I also make a list of new experiences that I want to experience in the next year. What are some things that I would really love to experience in this next age, right? At this point in my life. And you can also revisit your vision board, your goals. It's a great time of the year to do all. Okay, so that is the second birthday ritual. This is one that has been probably the most consistent every year. I always do this reflection. And once again, on the show notes of the podcast episode, I put a link where you can find that birthday reflection guide. The next ritual is to create a new annual tradition. This one is a little more creative. Thinking outside of the typical celebration box, right? Every year, I now host a virtual conference for my birthday. It brings me joy, pride, and a sense of accomplishment. This year, for the first time in the last 4 years, so I've been doing that conference for the past 3 years, and this would be the 4th year that I host the Thrive Conference. That's the name of the conference that I've been doing as a way of celebrating my birthday. And this tradition started over the pandemic, and it has become my tradition on how I like to celebrate my birthday. Doing something that brings me joy, that aligns with my life motto. So my life motto is live, love, grow, and make an impact. And the Thrive Conference have allowed me to embrace all 4 pillars of my life philosophy on my life motto, live, love, grow, and make an impact. Now, this year, I decided to do something a little bit different. I was starting to plan to host a conference as I've done for the last 3 years. I started to contact some of the keynote speakers that I had envisioned in my vision board. I always do like a vision board of the event where I start to dream about what topics would I like to talk about, what would be the theme of the conference, who would be the people that I will love to be part of the event as keynote speakers. And I started to reach out to them, inviting them to the event, as I've done, same approach that I've done in the past 3 years. And this year, things happen in a way, you know how sometimes things happened that leads to something even better? That was my experience this year planning Thrive. So a lot of the people that I was reaching out had other commitments on the date that I was planning to host the event. And it triggered me to think a little bit differently. And this is where that creativity kicked in this year to say, okay, maybe I'll try something different this year. So I've been working on creating a 12-week program, especially for women. I don't want to leave any of you guys out, but this one is specifically for women. And I'm calling the event Empower Her. And this is an event that is a virtual program that is going to take place over 12 weeks and focuses on 6 core modules. And it's really crafted to help women uncover their true purpose, to build unwavering confidence, and to navigate their careers effectively. It will include modules to help gain and amplify your impact, to grow as a leader, and to achieve balance and well-being. So the 6 modules of this program are going to be vision and purpose is the first one. The second one is radical confidence. The third one is career evolution. The fourth one is impact. The fifth one is leadership. And the last one is well-being. So this is the new annual tradition, a little bit with a spin, right? Instead of doing a 1 day, or it started as a 3-day virtual conference, now is a 12-week program. It's specifically targeted for women. And this is the way that I've injected creativity in how I celebrate my birthday. And it's been so fulfilling, the process of building this program and learning from other amazing women that have helped me and inspired me to create this program. Now, my question to you is, what could be your tradition, right? Maybe it has nothing to do with mine, and it shouldn't, right? That is something very personal. It should be a tradition that, again, brings you joy, that aligns with your life purpose. Maybe for you, it's planting a tree or donating to a cause that you care about, or embarking in a new hobby. Make it something that speaks to your soul, and create a new tradition that helps you and becomes a way and a mechanism to celebrate your birthday and making it meaningful, and something that will make you remember that birthday, make that birthday really memorable. When I look back and I think about all my birthdays until this point in my life, and what do I remember about each of those birthdays? A lot of them, I don't remember anything, because it was the traditional dinner or birthday party or cake and candles. And I can't remember all the details about some of those celebrations, but I'll tell you that I remember each and every one of my Thrive conferences. And when I think about the things that have made me feel most alive, that I'm most proud of personally, my Thrive conference comes to the surface. And that started it as a new birthday tradition. So what could be yours? What is that one thing special that you can do on your birthday that will make you remember that birthday as a special day? Okay, number 4 is to write a letter to your future self. I actually did this one this year, and it was so much fun. This one has become one of my recent favorite rituals, is write a letter to yourself 5 years into the future or 10 years into the future. You decide. But talk about your dreams, your goals, your hopes. What are some of the things that are holding you back? What are the things that you're hoping you can overcome? And then seal it and set a reminder to open it on your birthday 5 years from now. Maybe you schedule an email that will go out 5 years from now, or you write it down and you put it on an envelope and you put a date on when you will open that letter. It's a powerful way to connect with your vision of the future and reflect on how far you've come. And I'm sure it's going to be super fun 5 years from now to open that letter and read it and see how much of the things that you're currently dreaming about and the goals that you have, how far you've come 5 years from now. Or maybe how you've gone in a completely different path that turned out to be even better than what you had vision of today. So that can be a really fun exercise and experience to do on your birthday. Another birthday ritual is to celebrate your wins. I think birthdays are a great time to celebrate our wins because we often forget to celebrate our accomplishments. So one easy exercise that you can do on your birthday is to make a list of all the awesome things that you've achieved over the past year. Reflect on moments where you push through challenges and pat yourself on the back a little bit on how far you've come. It's your day. Celebrate you, right? And this can be a great way to celebrate ourselves because I think the reason why we do any kind of celebration in our birthday is because we want to feel a certain way on our birthday. And I don't know about you, but for me, having that feeling of accomplishment and of pride of myself it's a feeling that I want to attract on my birthday. It's a feeling I want to experience that it will be fun to have on my birthday. And this can be a great way to create and evoke that feeling. Okay, number 6 is to set new goals for the year ahead. Instead of the typical New Year resolution, how about some birthday resolutions? How about some birthday goals? Ask yourself, what's something new that I want to try this year? Write down a bucket list of experiences, big or small, that you want to check off by the next birthday. Birthdays are a perfect time to think ahead and plan for growth. Set some goals for yourself. What is that you want to accomplish in this next year of your life? Okay, another ritual, number 7, is move your body with love. What do I mean by this? We take our bodies for granted. So show yourself some love on your birthday, whether it's a long walk in nature, maybe is doing a yoga session, maybe even is having a dance party. Find joy in movement. And this ritual, for me, it reminds me, and it can remind all of us on how amazing our body is and all that it does for us every single day. For me, incorporating movement every day in my life is very important. I keep saying 5 years, but by now it's probably 7, I don't know how many years. I started doing this as a habit, as part of my morning routine. I incorporate movement. And a lot of people that do exercise on a regular basis, when it's their birthday, they take a quote unquote break, right? For me, it's totally the opposite. I like to start my birthday with movement, because it's a way of honoring my body, honoring all that my body does for me every day. And one fun way of doing that on your birthday could be to go on a long walk in nature or in a place that you love, in a place that is special for you. So how can you incorporate that movement and that gratitude for your body as you're aging? Our body does so much for us. And age, I think, is just a number, right? We can still be in great health and flexibility and mobility as we age. And for me, it's a great way of just celebrating that I'm healthy, that I can move. And maybe you are going through a tough health challenge, but you're still here, you're still alive, and there's so much to celebrate about that. The fact that you're celebrating another year of life, and your body has taken you this far and will take you even further. So that's another way, another ritual to celebrate your birthday. Number 8, this one is a fun one. I've done this with my daughter and with my son when he was younger. Now he's a teenager and he doesn't care about these types of things, but it's to create a milestone time capsule. I did this on my milestone birthday. So if you're having a milestone birthday, this can be a great ritual for you, creating a time capsule. I think this is especially special on a milestone birthday, but you can do it in any birthday really, is to create this time capsule. So collecting items, letters, or even photos that represent who you are today and put them in a little box and then seal them up until a future milestone birthday. It's a fun and meaningful way to mark your personal growth over time. And it's such a fun activity to do with your kids. And I got inspiration on this one because actually my daughter did one at school. I did one when I was at school. I remember when she did hers, I think it was, I don't know, when she finished kindergarten. So this was a few years ago, but they did this time capsule and it came with a note for the parents. Do not open until I turn 18. And I have kept that time capsule and I will be super excited to open that together with my daughter when she turns 18. And that inspired me. And in the last milestone celebration birthday that I had, I did one for myself. So I use a shoe box and I put in the shoe box a lot of different items. I write myself a letter to my future self, which was one of the other rituals that I share with you. And I put some items in there and some photos. And I can't even remember what I put in the box. I know I put things and photos and a letter, but I can't even remember what I wrote in the letter or what pictures I put in there. And it will be fun on my next milestone birthday to open that box and see where I was in my previous milestone birthday and how much my life has changed since and how much I've grown since. Okay, number 9 is to plan a solo or family getaway. You know, sometimes the best way to celebrate is to get away. Plan a special birthday weekend trip or vacation. If your birthday falls over, if you're one of the lucky ones that your birthday falls on a time that you can actually plan a vacation, schedule a birthday trip. I love traveling, and for me, there's no better way to celebrate my birthday than going on a trip, exploring a new place that I haven't been before, or going back to a special place. And you can do this by yourself, like a solo trip, or with your loved ones. But explore a new city, relax at the beach, or stay at a cozy Airbnb somewhere. It doesn't have to be extravagant. The key is to give yourself the gift of a fresh experience, of doing either redoing an experience that was so memorable for you before or creating a new experience. And whether it's a new or old experience, it will be a new memory because you are in a different spot in your life. You have changed, you have grown, and now you're going through that experience being a different version of yourself that you were the last time. So create some memories by solo or family getaway. This was my way of celebrating my birthday. So we did this a week before my birthday, but my family and I went on a vacation. And this year we went to Australia, which is a place that has been on my bucket list for the longest time. This is the one country that I wanted to go since I was a kid. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was the koalas when I was a kid and as I grew up, just all the things that I have learned about Australia. Long story short, we went there for a week. It was a short trip. I wish we could stay longer and see much more and explore much more of the country, but we spent a week in Sydney and some places around Sydney, and it was an amazing trip. I was able to treasure so many memories with my family, and that was the best birthday gift this year. Okay, the last birthday ritual is to treat yourself to a special gift. So we've talked about a lot of things on how you can celebrate your birthday, but I think one way you can do it is to spoil yourself with a birthday gift. Not something you need, but something you really want. It could be, I don't know, a beautiful journal, a piece of jewelry, a book, a new experience like a cooking class or a dancing class. You deserve to spoil yourself. So a lot of times in birthdays, we receive gifts from other people. And I love receiving gifts. More than gifts, I love receiving the birthday wishes and the letters and the notes, and just the fact that people remember that it was my birthday. And I'll rather spoil myself with something that I really want. That is more meaningful to me. And I think it's a great way to celebrate your birthday. And again, the key here is that it has to be something that you really want, not something that you need, right? You can buy what you need at any time during the year, but your birthday is like that time where you spoil yourself. That thing that you've been wanting to have or to experience all year long, but you were dreading it because you didn't want to spend the money on it, or you felt selfish spending the money on it. This is the day that you can spoil yourself. So there you have it, 10 fresh, meaningful ways to celebrate your birthday. These rituals aren't just for making another year. They're about honoring yourself, your journey, and also your future, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. Whether you're spending the day quietly, reflecting, or throwing a virtual party or a virtual conference like I've been doing for the last 3 years, whatever you do, make sure that your birthday is filled with joy, with gratitude, and with a little bit of adventure. Before I go, if you're loving these episodes, don't forget to subscribe to the Leading Yourself podcast and share it with a friend. I'd love to hear how you celebrate your birthday, so drop me a message on Instagram or LinkedIn or on my email. I really want to thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, I hope you have a great week ahead. And I can't wait to talk to you again next week here on the Leading Yourself podcast. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more, and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.